Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you're tuning in from. Welcome to TAFO, Truck Around and Find Out podcast, where Ryan and I discuss some fun and hot topics surrounding trucking industry, safety, community, and kind of our lives here in northern Colorado, especially since we just got through Thanksgiving.
Oh man, yeah, for sure, for sure. Did you have a good weekend, Keith?
Busy.
Yeah, we just got through going through the rundown, and I was
Yeah,
like, hey,
mine's-
should have asked you to save all that. But
Mine was pretty hectic, running to Nebraska, pick up the folks, get back, cook, have everybody over, and love mom and dad dearly, but it's always nice when the house is empty.
yeah, you miss those weekends where you actually get to have a little reset.
Yeah.
My weekend was kind of the same. I heard you cooked a brisket.
I did. We didn't do the turkey. Everybody that was coming to our house, we had about 12 people total, including Kelly and I. Everybody said, yeah, let's do the brisket. So I did it was about a 16-hour slow cook on the brisket. So on the pellet grill. So
Fantastic. That's good. I have never cooked a brisket on my pellet Traeger.
well, you need to.
I definitely agree. I need to. Luke took a brisket class actually a while back, and he won. And they gave him a Wagyu brisket.
Yep.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was pretty nice, man. That was a 7-hour cook I did on that thing, and it turned out pretty darn well.
How much did it weigh?
It was 17 pounds after they trimmed it, because they trimmed it all up for us too at the class. So
Wow.
yeah, it was.
I've had
fancy.
a beef loin, a Wagyu beef loin that was just everybody at the table got quiet.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet.
And I was like, and they go, this is probably the best beef we've ever eaten. So I was like, well, I'll have to try it. And I tried it
Nice.
shortly thereafter. So
Yeah, I take my turkey pretty darn serious. So I start it early in the week, and I do a big brine on it. I got a special brine that I use and brine it for 24 hours, and then I got my cooking process. So I like it when when you have turkey on the second day and it's still moist and juicy and good and tasty. That's if it's dry on day 2, then I know I failed the turkey. So that's always
the
my
best
goal,
part of
so.
Thanksgiving is turkey sandwiches.
It is.
Or
And,
brisket
yeah,
sandwiches.
Holly loves the turkey sandwiches. I think when we got finished, she's like, I don't think we have that many leftovers in us for turkey, because we had a bunch of people, and I always send everybody home with little to-go boxes. And I said, well, that is why I buy an extra turkey, and we'll be I'll be getting that one ready to go probably this weekend. So get her cooked up, but. Yeah, so we had the big dinner. We had Mike's family. His parents came and joined us from Montana. They live up in, I believe, Sheridan, Montana, and they joined us for dinner this year. So it was nice having Kent and Vicky down, and really enjoyed our time with them. Cooked the great big dinner, and kids came over, and the grandson, and then. Get Thanksgiving done, and oh boy, then the holiday, the beginning of the Christmas season starts. My wife takes decorating very serious in our
We've
household.
already done it.
Yeah.
It's done.
She wanted to do it after Halloween, but because we were doing a big Thanksgiving get together, we decided to wait.
Kelly wants it up for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, oh yes, and Holly listens to this, so she's gonna be very happy to hear that.
My Aaron always comes over. He's done it for 20 years and helps Kelly decorate for Christmas. And I am a Sherpa for the day. I haul things up and down the stairs. Yeah.
That's my role. I fluff the tree. That's
Fluff the tree and be a Sherpa.
I fluff the tree, and I run around and vacuum things up with the little little shop vac and the dust buster, and
That's
and
what I
just,
do.
Gotta clean things up, and I carry the trunks up and down.
We
and,
could start our own Christmas store.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I hear you there. I definitely hear you there. So yeah, we did that, and then while she was putting up the lights, I decided to throw some lights in the backyard, and I did the fence, and I did the big pine tree that we have in the back, and the row of little evergreen trees. I don't know what kind of an evergreen those are, but they're the ones that you just kind of have to hedge and trim and keep looking, shaped, I guess. So I wrapped all those, and I got all my extension cords. I put it all up and plugged it in, and I realized that, when I was cooking that turkey during Thanksgiving, it quit on me 3 times during the cook. Well, one of the times was because my plugs died. Wherever I had the Traeger, so all my exterior house plugs are dead right now. So I kind of forgot about it. I plugged all my lights in, and I still don't have them working. I did all the work to get my outdoor Christmas lights up, and none of them are working. I've been to the breaker box. I've checked every breaker. I can't find an RFI switch that may be causing me problems. So yeah, for some reason my outdoor plugs have gone. So I'm going to be trying to find an electrician this week and seeing if I can get somebody way smarter than me to help figure that one out. So
Yeah.
It kind of stinks to do all that work and then just be like, oh shoot, it's not good.
You want to see them.
Yeah, I know.
Now.
During the turkey cook, I was panically grabbing an extension cord, plugging it into the garage, running the cord all the way around back to the trailer. So it worked. I mean, adapt and overcome. We did that, but yeah, it was crazy. So today, Keith, I really kind of wanted to dive into a little situation that we had happen last week at Front Range Compliance Services, and this was going to be a truck around and find out situation, because not only did this situation happen, since it all kind of went down, I found out that this individual we're going to be talking about has actually done this stuff before with a past employer. And basically what it is, we ran into our first expert, Chat GPT expert. And I don't know, have you ever dealt with a Chat GPT expert?
No, I thought Chat GPT was the expert.
Well, Chat GPT is pretty smart, but it's far from perfect, and it gives it can go through and render the regulations and try to lay them out, but a common person that can't interpret the words and the language may have some misunderstandings and think that they're entitled to some certain things that they're not entitled to. But we had a situation where we had a driver refused a test, and this happened on the Friday before the weekend, so a week ago. So Friday, the week before Thanksgiving, we had a company, and I'm not going to name any names, and we'll just refer to this driver's name as Mr. Crystal Smoker. So I figured that'd be a good one. I
know what direction we're headed.
Yeah. Well, this what happened was the random selections. You know how that all works, right?
Yep.
Random selections come
I do.
out. This particular company is on a quarterly selection process. So we pull there at the beginning of the quarter. We pull the randoms. We verify all the names so we don't have a tainted poll, and we sent the company their list of who they need to test. It's then up to them to test that individual during that quarter. They're supposed to evenly space them out. It turns out that on Friday, a week ago, they set it up, and they had somebody come in. They brought in like a meal, so they call certain individuals into the office, or as they show up, and they've got food there and stuff like that. And when they get there, they say, "Oh, you're going to be taking your random test," and they have a random collection facility that shows up there, and they've got the bathroom all ready. So as the drivers that they selected to come in and test that
So
day,
they just do it on the spot.
they will do it right then and there. And they do this a couple different times through the quarter.
Would do that.
Yeah, right.
Save us a lot of time.
Right, yeah. Well, they bring this guy in, and they tell him, once he gets there, they tell him, hey, we've got some food and some stuff like that, and we're gonna have you take your random. You've been selected for a random. And apparently, the guy left the room, went somewhere. I guess he went out to his truck, gathered up his things, walked back in, and he told his boss, says, I quit. I'm moving. He's going to move out of state. I'm going to say where he was moving to, just so we can keep this as open as possible from,
Sure.
identifying anybody. So he's going to move out of state, and, he quits. He's not going to take the test. He's just going to choose to quit. And they tried to explain to him that, that was going to be a refusal, and he didn't care. He was done and didn't want to do it. So what happens if somebody refuses. That's going to go down as the same thing as a positive test.
So does that follow them to their next job?
It does. Well, it does bigger than that because of the FMCSA clearinghouse. I mean, in the past, if the company didn't report them or didn't tell the previous employer, they could just leave and go somewhere else and get a job. And if nobody ever finds out about it, then they just keep driving. But that was the whole purpose of the FMCSA clearinghouse, was to identify and hold these individuals accountable.
So refusing this is not going to help him in his next job.
It's not only that, but it's also gonna cause his license to become suspended. It's about about a 90-day process if everything goes right. But state of Colorado, if he doesn't get to the return to duty process, the state of Colorado is going to suspend his driver's license. So yeah, he's in jeopardy, Mr.
But he's
Mr.
moving
Smoker.
out of state, so he says.
So he says.
That still follows him.
Yeah, it still follows him. It's now on his record, so he is listed as a prohibited driver in the FMCSA.
So if a company,
clearinghouse.
let's say he moves to Wyoming,
Yeah.
and the company says, "Hey, we need a driver," he says, "I'll do it," and they pull his driving record, that all shows up, and they cannot hire him.
Well,
or how does that operate? How
Yeah,
does
that's
that
a great question. Well, if he moves, so because there's a major delay and all the states are still trying to get all their ducks in a row on this whole suspension and tied to the clearinghouse, then the first thing that if he's a CDL driver, every employer prior to using him, they have to check the clearinghouse. That's like step one
Correct.
before they do that. So once they pull that clearinghouse, they'll see that he's there. Eventually, even for companies that don't do a clearinghouse, which there are still a bunch that aren't doing that, when they pull his MVR, hopefully they're at least doing that. Eventually, his license will become suspended unless he makes it through a substance abuse program and gets that return to duty process started.
Okay.
So he won't get his license reissued till he gets a return to duty test. So
this guy's really shooting himself in the foot.
big time. He even told his past employer that he should have just taken a test. This would have not caused all this through all this discussion. So anyway, so this starts on Friday. Okay, it goes through the weekend. I don't know anything about it. Monday morning at 7:00 in the morning, my phone is ringing, and it's Nicole. She's kind of letting me know what's going on. No, I take that back. I was at a company, and it was 8:00 in the morning. I gotta think hard about this. I was doing an audit on a company last week, and right at 8:00, my phone rings, and it's Mr. Smoker. And, I could tell in his voice that he didn't sound happy, just the way he said hi to me. And it was drug and alcohol. I'm sitting in an office in front of a bunch of people.
This is the guy that refused the test.
Yes,
Okay.
Mr. Smoker, Mr. Crystal Smoker is what
Okay.
we're going to call him.
Right.
And he's got questions about a test. Well, Nicole handles the drug and alcohol. She is my director of compliance program. She runs the drug and alcohol program, and I support her. She's phenomenal. She does a great, great job. So I'm like, well, I don't have any of the details. You're going to need to speak with Nicole. And so I gave him her contact phone number. And within 5 minutes, Nicole was calling me. And this guy he went off on her. You could tell her voice, she was just very, like, this guy scared the hell out of her. And I was like, okay, well, first off, calm down. He's, just deal with this. He's a refusal. We'll process this. He ends up calling me. He calls her throughout the day. I don't know how many times. He calls the people that did the clinic. He calls or did the mobile testing. He calls the company that his former employer. He calls our MRO, the medical review officer for the laboratory. He apparently is calling the FMCSA, filing complaints on us, and he levels an accusation that we just randomly selected him inappropriately. Like we just we're just picking on him and all of this, which also goes to the whole Crystal Smoker. I mean, the guy is extremely paranoid. And through all these communications, I mean, even one of this guy's emails, he says that his name, he uses by God, mother effin', and his first name and his last name. So it'd be Crystal by God, mother effin' Smoker, if I was to use his real name. And I mean, it just kind of tells you who we're dealing with. But here's the thing. So he's got Chat GPT, and he's like, well, Chat GPT says this, and you have to provide me that. And he wants a copy of his CCF, and he wants a copy of the result. And he wants our entire list. Like, he wants to know every driver that was selected. He needs all their names and their information. And I'm just like, no, you're not entitled to that. And there's no CCF to give you because you walked out before there could be one completed.
What's a CCF?
That's the control and custody form. So, and you go in, the one that you fill out and
You
it's
law
the federal
enforcement
form.
guys have too many acronyms.
Yeah, well, that we can blame we can blame the feds for their acronyms, but the control custody form, and anyway, so this goes on not just one day; it goes on Well, I mean, clear until Wednesday. I think I was still dealing with this knucklehead, and he keeps threatening me, with an audit. Like, I'm telling the FMCSA, and I am just, hey, go ahead. We're happy to talk to the FMCSA. If the FMCSA wants to see these documents, we'll give them to the FMCSA, but we're not giving them to you. You're not entitled to them. That's confidential. And he says, well, it says, ChatGPT says that you have to provide them upon request or during an audit. And I'm like, well, upon a request of who? Upon a request of an authorized representative of the federal or state government, not to the driver who refused the test. But anyway, so this guy, he goes on and on and on about this whole refusal, and that we are refusing to cooperate, and how he's going to escalate this then to the next level. He's sending me messages,
what's the next
and
level?
telling me. Well, yeah, I'm assuming that that's his way of saying that we're going to get in trouble for what we do. So, in all of this guy, and I mean, I have a text string because this guy just has text messaged me. I sent him 2 text messages in response to the 40 that he sent me, and his are, rather long and rather inappropriate, just going on and on and on. And so we kind of left it off to where this guy went through and just absolutely, just is off of his rocker. And if anything, just is displaying every sign and symptom of a user of some kind of control substance, just based on his actions, his activity, his speech, and everything else. And it's just has been an absolute chaos. But the topper on this whole thing was, through this whole process, I was talking with the company, who in turn knows one of this guy's former employers. And it sounds like he's done this in the past to one of his past employers. And he's such a bully that what it turned into is his past employer just said, just terminate him. We're not even going to report it. Just let him go. And they made a decision, unfortunately, that they could just let this guy go, and they didn't do anything with the way he tried to evade a drug test, because he just threw such a fit like he's doing with us.
And how do you know that?
Well, the past employer supposedly told the current past employer, the most recent past employer. And they got some information that he had kind of pulled some stunts like this before.
So is there any requirement for that? The older past employer, is there any requirement for them to report this, or can they just not report it?
I would say, yeah, they should have. They violated all kinds of rules.
But is there any requirement from the FMCSA, for example, that are they now in any jeopardy or anything, any consequence for not reporting it, other than all they did was kick the can down the road for?
Yeah, I would imagine that if in fact this guy does elevate this to the FMCSA, and that's one of the things I tried to tell him. I was like, okay, so help me understand this. You refused the test, and you're gonna make a complaint that all this happened, which is gonna in turn open up the investigation. And it's not just gonna be an investigation to us. They're gonna actually be looking at you, because you're the jeopardy here. You're the one that violated the rule first. And I tried to portray that to him, but ChatGPT is giving him his best guidance. So and this guy is, he is so persistent and so bullish with the way he's acting with all this. I have a feeling that he's probably done this more than the other time we found out, because he is very quick, and he is just on attack with us, just constantly on the attack with us. And I would imagine that through this investigation, if the FMCSA does discover that past employer does, if they get brought into this and they determine that they did in fact turn a blind eye to it just to avoid having a conflict with this guy because he's such a bully, I would imagine there'll be some repercussions. But that's, to me, that's the minor repercussion.
Yeah,
I would think the liability of this, because if this guy, he's dangerous. He is a true menace, and he gets out there and causes a crash, and the investigation turns up one or two past employers let this go. I would say that they're going to be named in a major way, and that's with all these verdicts and crazy stuff that's going on out there, that is some serious jeopardy.
Because they knew.
Because they knew, and they didn't follow the proper protocols. And
And
that's
I mean, maybe this is an oversimplified deal, but it's kind of like with real estate. You know, with my wife doing real estate for 25 years, you've got some fault with the house, and you know about it, and you don't disclose it. You sell the house, and then they find out about it later, which they always do. Well, now they can come back and sue you. So this kind of falls under that. It's like, you've got a problem here. You can't just let him go and say, forget it, just sweep it under the rug.
You can't. You 100% can't. And the reason I wanted to bring this up is just to help instill confidence in to those that are listening to us. You know, support your plan, support your people. You know, if you turn a blind eye to this, you're opening yourself up. And this guy is a bully. This is one of the worst refusals I think I've ever had to deal with. I mean, if we could read all of his messages and listen so you could truly get a sense of everything this guy said, it just is mind-blowing. And I can understand why somebody says, oh, just terminate him, we just want to be rid of this problem. But this guy met his match with us. And as the third-party service provider, you know, I am happy, and I literally went to my client and I told them, don't respond to him anymore. Refer him 100% to us with all of his messages. And I said, you know, because he just kept hitting them. So they hit him back with, okay, you're going to have to deal with Front Range Compliance, Ryan Byers. They are handling all of our DOT compliance. They're handling all of our drug and alcohol compliance. We're not, you know, going to respond to this. So he finally backed off because he took all of our refusals and apparently now is escalating it, which is fine. I welcome the conversation with the FMCSA. He's going to find that he played with the wrong individuals. But, you know, I would hope, because I know this other company, I know them well. I also work with them, and I don't work with them in this aspect of it. But I know who their drug and alcohol services are through. And it's just unfortunate that a company, and it's one of those great, big, huge companies that a lot of companies up here in our industries are forced to use. And it just goes to show you that they don't provide any type of true support, because this should have never happened. We have had our MRO involved in this. You know, we have had, you know, multiple people, you know, at higher levels involved with this, just to make sure that our clients are 100% protected and that we've crossed all of our T's and dotted all of our I's. And, you know, for a service provider should provide just that service.
They should have taken a hold of that, the older and previous employer. They should have just taken that off their plate. Said, don't worry about it. Go back to work.
Yeah.
Go back to business as usual. We'll handle it.
Yeah, a refusal is a refusal, and it's straight up. If we tell you to take a test and you do anything to evade that test and you refuse it, it's going to get chopped up as a refusal. And yes, there are unfortunate times and circumstances where a refusal is wrong, or the driver refused, but the company was wrong for the way they did the test. But that was most definitely not this situation.
Wow.
So,
well, who needs a lawyer when you got Chat GPT?
It's exactly right. So, you know what, Mr. Crystal Smoker out there, I guess if he ever listens to this cast and figures out we're talking about him, you know, I wish you the best, and I hope you can get your life on the right track. But you got some work to do.
There's no future in that.
Yeah,
That's a bad deal.
You definitely got some work to do. So anyways, so that's was my TAFO of the week, the truck around and find out. I think this gentleman is going to find out finally, and he's going to be taken off the road. So hopefully we pulled this Chat GPT expert out of a truck for a while. Hopefully he can get his life squared away. And I did give him a substance abuse referral. I gave him not just one. I gave him the place where he can go and search, because I don't know where he's going to be at. So I'm like, here, you can, in whatever state, this will find you a substance abuse professional. And good luck to you.
Well, hopefully he does get things.
Yeah, I hope he gets himself squared away.
For his family, everybody else.
Yeah, Mr. By God, mother effing.
Maybe that'll change too.
Maybe that will.
Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
Yeah, he will. Yeah, he gets to have that conversation with Almighty himself one day. So yeah. Anyway, so Mr. Redbeard, you got anything to add to today's topics?
Nope.
You were pretty quiet over there.
Yeah, hey, you were saying all the things I was going to say about Mr. Smoker, so.
Yeah, you got to talk to him a little bit too, didn't you?
Yeah, I got a couple colorful emails from them. I never responded to him, but yeah, it was pretty fun to watch. I'm not gonna lie.
Entertainment's entertainment.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Well, with that, I will bid adieu and say, hey, thank you to all the good truck drivers that are out there that aren't cheating the system and trying to figure out how to cheat the drug and alcohol and keeping yourself straight on the roadway. We appreciate you. We're coming into this holiday season, and it's going to be a lot of traffic and a lot of impatient people. But we appreciate you and what you do. Keep her straight and dirty side down.
Yep, we appreciate you guys. Happy Thanksgiving and Merry Christmas.
Thank you.